Here's just a little something that I learnt from my week. It's been quite a difficult week in many ways, quite an emotional week. There's a lot going on in my life at the moment that is quite challenging and very hard to explain. I'm kind of always trying to look for advice from the things that I have encountered so that I can pass it on to other people and to myself, because I'm such a big believer in following your own advice. I think your own advice is so valuable. It's something that really makes sense to you. Other people's advice makes sense in their own brain, the way that they see the world and the things that they believe. And sometimes it's right for you, but sometimes it's completely the wrong thing for you because it's just not how you operate. It's not your way of doing things. But if you take your own advice, it's completely you. What you feel the best way of dealing with something for yourself. If you can think of good advice in one situation, later on down the road when you might be faced with a similar thing, you will know how to deal with it in a good, positive way that's right for you and that kind of serves you in the best way that it can. I think as human beings, it's so easy to get stuck into that natural thing of just wallowing. But actually, the best thing about a bad situation is that you can find your way through it and think, right, what can I do to make this better? How can I cope with this? And what can I take away from this that then if somebody else is in a similar situation down the road, I can give to them as support. I mean, I'm not saying when bad things happen to me, I just go, well, it doesn't matter because I'm going to be positive and happy about it. It's not that at all. I cry. I spend hours worrying about things and everything. That's all part of it, isn't it? But then you get through that part and you go, right, if I've got to deal with this, if it's not something that I can change or that I can do anything about and I've got to just get on with it in my everyday life, I need to find a way of coping with it and managing it to the best of my abilities. And for me, when I find that, I just feel so empowered and so much better about the whole situation because I'm in control of it that way. I found my own way to kind of avoid feeling terrible at the hands of something else, either something like fate that life has given you just an awful situation, or somebody else who thinks they're so much better than you. Whatever it is that's getting you down, you want to have control over that thing. And by finding a solution, or just not even a solution that solves everything, because you can't always find one of those, but just finding a mechanism that helps you get through it, whatever that might be. And sometimes it can be just the stupidest, silliest little thing, but if it makes you avoid spiraling into an awful pit of sadness, that's a great thing, and it gives you back that hold on the situation, which is so important. If you feel like everything's lost and out of your control, then you are just going to lose it all. Just start feeling terrible about everything. Most situations in everyday life aren't worth feeling that way about anyway, but it's surprising the amount of times that they can make you feel that bad. You know, we're telling ourselves, this is the most ridiculous thing. I don't know why I'm so angry or upset about this. Yet you can't help yourself thinking about it over and over again. Always try to make the best of things. You will feel better about it if you can find a way that makes you feel more positive. I think one thing that really helps me is thinking through the situation as if I was somebody else looking in on it, taking myself out of it and looking at it from an outsider's point of view and thinking, what advice would I give to somebody if they came to me with this situation? And then trying to follow that advice. I think your own advice is so underrated. I just think you really need to put more precedence on how good you probably are at problem solving and figuring out the best thing to do. I mean, it's great to talk to other people sometimes and get their opinions and everything like that. That's definitely a valuable thing. But at the end of the day, you're the only one who knows your own mind and what you actually think about things. Listen to what your thoughts are telling you are the best thing to do. And in that way, any bad situation can give you something positive, a positive tool for the rest of your life, which is really going to help either you or somebody else down the road. Nothing is just bad. Nothing is just all bad as long as you can find the goodness in something that feels like a nightmare. So next time you're in a bad situation, whether you're in one now or if you just encounter one in the future, train yourself to stop and take a step back and think, what would I tell somebody if they told me that they were in this situation? What would I do? How can I make it better? Or how can I just get through it? Because a lot of life isn't about completely making everything fine and sunshine and daisies spring out. It would be nice. Most of it is just finding ways to put a smile back on your face. You just need to find it in you to make that change. Just listen to my advice and take your own. Hopefully that's a nice healthy compromise. Talk to you soon!